I think we have to, and I think it's only fair we talk about the head coach now, John. And let's start first from the stadium point of view. You were in the stadium, obviously we heard the booing. Not all the crowd booed, but not tons of booing, but there was some boos. There was,
I think that's like three draws on the run, was it, at home? I mean, I think that's probably why people are fed up.
And it's rare that Anfield does that, John. It felt for some of the weekend was almost like the straw that broke the camel's back, and I mean that more so in the performance, the result rather than the performance.
It was the result.
The result of drawing 1-1 with Burnley, and again, I think most people would accept Liverpool played better, but they still didn't win. And I think and I completely understand Liverpool should always beat Burnley. And it did feel like there was certain sections where, like, they might have had enough of the head coach. Did you sense that in the stadium? There's a few people now who are starting to maybe be on the fence.
People, but not to the extent, as I said before, when I got in my car and turned the radio on and everyone was coming on saying he needs to be sacked. I'm thinking, what? I mean, that just didn't seem to be the right thing to do at this time, based on a reasonably decent performance. Yeah, not a great result, but a reasonably decent performance. And I remember, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, us saying what he needs to do is stop losing football matches, stop conceding goals. Well, to some extent, he's done that. It's not great, but at least we're not losing football matches. And that's the start. You can build on that. That's that's the shoots, the early shoots in spring coming through, hopefully. But I don't see us sacking Slot. Certainly not before summer.
It's interesting because, Lewis, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I think you're a content creator. You're quite open with your suggestion. You did put on social media that I think you wrote "get him out." It's big kind of what you wrote, maybe. And you get it. You did say you would like Liverpool to make him out. Is that fair enough to say you would if you were in charge? Now you would be looking at the head coach thinking, what I think, and maybe this Abi Alonso thing plays into the fact that he's available. So from your point of view, you think it's time for the change?
I love that you got my tweets. Yeah, look, I agree with what you are saying in terms of there is a progression from where we were. But our progression from where we were should not be a good result against Burnley, which leads to a draw. Our good performances should not lead to 4 draws against newly promoted teams. We should not be struggling against Wolves, who are bottom of the table. We should not be in that position. And I understand that you have to adjust your expectations to where we are. We've just come off the back of winning the league. We've just spent the money we have. I understand there's injuries. I understand that Salah's been gone and we've got a lot of change and a lot's happened. But at the moment, the signs of progression are we're having 27 shots against the team who are 19th in the division. That's great.
See, I don't understand why Slot's head is being called for after 3 draws at home and we're on a 12-game unbeaten run, when in Klopp's season after he'd won the title, he lost six games at Anfield on the bounce. And no one called for his head. No one even mentioned the fact that he might need to be sacked.
I think also that time was the COVID one, wasn't it? And he ran out to centre back.
Was injured.
But then, Jürgen's second last year, Liverpool finished 5th or 6th, 5th maybe, and they tried their damnedest to get into the Champions League, and it was Roberto Firmino's last hurrah, and he was doing everything he could. But I suppose Jürgen never spent £400 million in a summer, and I think that all plays into it as well, Lewis. And maybe the expectations have changed because the champions. So, but you by the way, this isn't me having a go at you, because everyone's. Listen, I'm of the opinion, I think it would be a bit harsh. But if they did it, I could understand why they did it.
My thing is, I don't think Slot's got any fans. I don't think people like him. I don't like him. I don't think he's got... There's no warmth comes off him at all, and it's very difficult to take after Klopp. And so I won't cry for him if he loses his job. I just don't see Liverpool doing it.
Yeah, it's more...
I don't think the club are going to do it.
No, it's more from a fan's point of view, and I've got a tweet here from a guy called Teddy, and we were asking for like opinion, and he said, the problem I have now with this team and Slot is that Anfield should be a fortress no matter what. It's so sad to see opponents coming so content at our ground. Yeah. And to be fair, that you can't deny that. The teams... Anfield was a fortress, and it's not no more. Teams are relatively comfortable coming to Anfield now. Man United come and beat us. Sunderland took a point, Leeds took a point, Burnley took a point, and talk about the boos before Lou as well. And maybe that's kind of, people have seen a lot of this, and it's I suppose the ultimate question is: are you blaming the manager? Are you blaming the recruitment team? Are you blaming the players? ultimately someone goes, and when the first person to go is often the head coach, whether that's fair or not. But I'm with John, by the way. I don't think they are going to make a change yet. I don't think they are. I think as long as they're in and around fourth, I think they won't. Yeah. The question isn't that. It's, again, your point is you think they should. Do you think, for example, and I'm guessing, if Arne goes and they brought in, let's say it's Xabi Alonso, because he's the obvious candidate, I think, do you think automatically Liverpool he would do something different than what Slot's doing and just make things that much better straight away?
No, I don't think it'd be an instant thing, but
You don't see this getting better?
I don't see it getting better because there are mitigating circumstances, but I think at the moment, you touched on the Klopp one before, and his last season was, by that point, Klopp was already a legend and he'd announced he was leaving. Things fell off towards the end of the season. The 2020-21 season, there were injuries galore. But at least when we even went under Klopp and we were losing those results, by that point, he'd won us a Champions League, he'd won us a Premier League, we'd reached another Champions League final. And you could still see that the style of play we were implementing was still there and it was still successful in matches. Whereas so far this season, we've tried trying to be defensively astute. It doesn't work. We've tried going gung-ho attack. It doesn't work. We've tried expanding the game, doesn't work. We've lost to Chelsea, United, Brentford, Forest, City. We've been battered 3-0 in multiple matches. The Klopp one, we had big losses, but you could still see positive signs. This is a team
I don't know that you could. We lost 6 games on the bounce at Anfield. I couldn't see anything. By that point, I was so invested in Klopp that it didn't matter to me. I thought things would turn around. I don't get that from Slot.
That's what I mean.
That's my point here, John, is that the question has to be, do you think what we're going through now is the platform to get back to something? Or do you think this is what it is? Because if it's the first one, I think you'd give him the benefit of the doubt and you go, right, he lost players, he's going through a change of a lot going on. I think this is the plateau that we can build from. And if you do, you probably give him the benefit of the doubt. If you think this is it, and if you think, well, he won the league with Jurgen's team, it's just then he has to go.
Under Jurgen, we were terrible against the low block teams. We struggled. We always struggle against low block teams. I mean, I don't know. City seem to be able to go through them and have no trouble. We've always struggled. But I don't get the impression that those players on that pitch are capable of scoring 3 and 4 goals against Burnley. They just didn't come, And
if we can't do that, then it's our job to be set up so that we don't concede as many goals as we are against lower opposition. I think you're absolutely spot on. I think you're correct. But if we don't have the players capable of scoring a multitude of goals, is that not on the manager to find a solution to try and sort that out?
I actually think, although we don't score a lot of goals, I think he's too attack-minded, Slot. He puts too many attacking players on the pitch. I personally have 2 holding midfield players with our defence because I think our defence is rubbish and we need that strength. And you can build from that. Yeah. You can become a very successful attacking side even if you've got 2 holding midfield players. Yeah. And I just think we're too weak at the back and there's no confidence in the team anymore.
It is interesting because, again, for what it's worth, like the noise, I think James Pearce wrote in The Athletic, didn't he? Liverpool and FSG plant a stick with Slot. They acknowledge a few of the problems that he's gone through and what Liverpool have gone through in transfer market and etc. And he believe he'll give the chance to change it. And also, while they're still in Champions League qualification, which, by the way, isn't all just to do with us. Mm-hmm. It's more to do with the teams around us have not been great. I think none of the teams who were in the top 6 to start the week won. They all either drew or lost. So I think Liverpool have kind of been a bit fortunate there, although, United and Chelsea catching up.
If we didn't buy Isak and we didn't buy Ekitike and we didn't buy Wirtz and he played the same side as he did last year, would we be successful? And Salah's drop-off has been a real problem, I think.
So, McAllister as well.
McAllister dropping off. So I don't know whether... I think it's a bit of a red herring, the money that was spent in the summer. I'm not even sure it was him spending the money, to be honest. So, but he is being tarnished by the fact that he has all this money on the pitch. And thankfully, those players are now starting to play well.
There was the signings, aren't we? Maybe some of the other ones. So it's to round it up then. If, let's just play hypothetical, where John Emery gives you a call, Johnny should give you a call, you've seen more footy than and he goes, do you reckon we should make a change now? Would you be along the lines of probably not, it sounds like? Or would you
I would be probably not, because I don't see Alonso coming in. I'm not even sure Alonso's the right guy. He's three at the back man, isn't he? Or 5 at the back man, which I've never seen us play that, on a regular basis. I mean, I think Kenny used to do it.
Rodgers tried it
every
once.
now and again. Rodgers tried it when he was in a deep trough, wasn't he?
I suppose, Alonso, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, his Madrid team are doing all right back four. Well, I mean, they've got some superstar players as well, so that might be. So you would make the change, or you'd be like, you make the call now.
I would leave it.
Or you're not going back on your tweets.
I would leave it till summer.
No. I do think a change is needed. And look, I don't know anywhere near as much as John knows far.
Your opinion's valid. Everyone's valid.
I think at the moment I'm not seeing anything that other than individual brilliance from Wirtz and Ekitike and Frimpong to look at this team and go, right, I can see what the plan is. I can see that when Salah comes back, we're going to hit the ground running. I can see when we sign this player, we're going to hit the ground running. A lot of change happened in the summer. But it just seems like no matter what we do, no matter how we set up or how we play, it just goes the same way each time. And I can't accept that we just need to stick by a manager who we're picking up the performances we are, and then he's coming out and saying, oh, we're just unlucky. Oh, the low block, like it's something alien that's never been seen before.
I think his press conferences don't do any favours. No. I know he got some stick about the Calvin Ramsey thing, and I do agree, by the way. Errol made this point of the weekend, and there's a social clip that went semi-viral with us saying it. Errol was like, he's a bit like, he's just so methodical that when it's going well, we praise that because it was like, oh, he takes the emotion out of it. He's just a ruthless winner and we can live with that. But then when you don't win and you can't warm to the fella, any benefit of any doubt automatically goes. So that style only works when you win.
I don't think he has any people who like him.
Like Klopp could sort of sweet talk his way out.
This is the poison Chelsea are following Jurgen. He did, listen, he won the Premier League.
That's absolutely right.
But it's more, there won't ever be, it would be very, very difficult for Liverpool fans or Liverpool supporters to find another manager they adored as much as Jurgen. It was they adored.
Well, you need a manager who at least will acknowledge the fans.
Yeah.
The fact that Slot has never ever talked to any of the fan channels ever, not even for a second. I mean, it speaks a lot. It speaks of some kind of arrogance for me, He's
a head coach, and this is my point. If you win, you win a sample. If you don't, it's very difficult.
This team could win the Champions League. It's good enough to win the Champions League.
It depends. Yeah, the question is he? And we don't know. We don't know the answer. For what it's worth, my stance on it is, my hope, and I don't know what's hope, I kind of expect, because I think he is a good manager. I do. I believe he is. I think this is just the building blocks to try and go again and get something positive. So I think I would stick for now. And I'm with you. I like Xabi Alonso. And if Xabi Alonso is the next Liverpool manager, that's sound. This idea that he's some icon of Liverpool, by the way, I don't agree with that one. He was here for a little bit. He was a good player.
He
had a couple of good years. And
he was in Istanbul.
And he's a very charismatic man. And he gets it, and he's been very respectful, and that's fantastic. It's a bit different than, like, for example, the legends. Like, that would be Steven Gerrard, but I don't think he's as good a manager. So I don't think if you could combine both, maybe you'd have something there. So I think from now, I would be like, you know what, I would give the manager the chance to have another go at it and turn it around. I also think he should be backed in this window. And if there's this talk, if they're not going to, why aren't they signing players? Is it because they want to keep the power dry for the summer? Is it because they've got no money? Or is it because they're worried about the manager position? If it's the last one, then they should sack him. Because if you sack him or back him. And I think a lot of this is, I think there's personnel issues as well. But I think, I don't see anyone, there's this idea of Lou, there are people who are adamantly defending the manager, they are going to the barricades for the manager, because there was a time when people were having a go at Jurgen Klopp, and there were some people going, maybe he needs to go, and there were people were like, right, barricade, get the shields out, we're not having that. There's no one really doing that for Arne Slot. I think it's more people giving him maybe the benefits of doubt, and like I say, some sympathy for what happened in the summer. But I don't think anyone's standing there ready to go to war for him.
The Premiership doesn't stand him in good stead, because people just say, "Oh, that was Klopp's team."
So
he gets no credit for it, even though he won it.
Like, a lot of us might be being reactionary. I think that is something to consider.
Football fans, we're allowed to be reactionary.
Exactly, and I think by the time that Klopp went through that initial dip, he just had so much money in the bank and so much stock that he was never going to get to that point with us. Like when Kenny was, say, if the spells that he went through, he won the league in his first season. If he dipped off for another season or two, I think fans still would have went, it's fine, it's Kenny. Just with Slot at the moment, like you said, I just think he doesn't help himself in the way that he addresses the fans, the way he speaks about the team, the individuals. I'm just yet to see any sort of sign beyond the first few matches of the season where we were on that winning run that things are headed in the right direction. We're unbeaten in 12, but it's against relegation fodder, newly promoted teams that we should be beaten. And the minute we go against the low block, it's as if it's never been seen before in football. United had this for the longest time. They backed Ten Hag to the hilt, the fans. They would not until it got to the point where he just had to be dropped. Same with Amarim. They've done it in the past. It gets you nowhere sometimes. Sometimes you just have to be honest and say, I'm not warming to the manager. I don't like what he's implementing in this team now. There is no way beyond him in the current system. We need to look for change. And it may be very reactionary, but in the same breath, you can have reactionary things like that and you can go on and do great things like we did when Slot came in.
It's absolutely valid. Yeah. I think it's absolutely valid. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts on the whole manager situation. If you watch that little clip, by the way, or you listen to it for free, the whole Final Word show is available on the app. Go and check it out now. That was a clip from the Final Word show. To check out the entire show, head on over to the Redmen Plus app.